Hey guys, it's Pseudonymist here, and today we are talking about Scott Cawthon apparently quote-unquote getting cancelled. Just to give my 2 cents about this, before moving to the information, I please urge you to subscribe and like this video if you enjoy my content. It would really help out the channel, and if you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. Now, onto the video. So, according to numerous sources, Scott Cawthon, who is the game creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, one of the most popular games made because of its genre of jump-scare horror-esque game, along with the hundreds of theories MatPat from Game Theory made to cover the lore, and Markiplier and a bunch of other YouTubers like Dogco and Razbowski and many others playing the game, increasing its popularity tremendously. So, what exactly happened to him? Well, according to sources, when the elections were on, he made donations to the Trump campaign or something, you know, the guy who wanted to build the wall, and it was gonna be huge. And no one is even sure that it's 100% accurate, but if you know how Twitter works, then you know dumbasses on there eat up the first piece of information they see, as if it's God himself spoon-feeding it and decreeing its validity. To be frank though, he did reply saying he did indeed do that, but he also donated to many more candidates in his response, which we will cover later. Honestly, Trump's reign is over, so they are just beating around a dead horse like every single other creator they've cancelled, or attempted to cancel, honestly. It's so pathetic and so sad to see people quickly judge a person like that, especially a good person like Scott, who is one of the best hardworking game creators out there. To give more coverage about Scott and FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's started out as a one-man game from a small indie game developer who had failed previously, making FNAF his final project, and him continuing to develop games stood on the hand of a risky game genre he had not worked on before. He has so many fans, even they made fan games or variations of FNAF, and one time he made an event to raise money and help fund those projects. Some creators also make FNAF themed events to donate to charities like MatPat once did, and Scott gave them a game to play, and for each level they cleared, he would give an amount of money to help that charity, and it's because he truly enjoys seeing how people like the game he made, and he takes pride and pleasure in his work and is glad that he could make other people enjoy this game. Scott Cawthon is a very sweet person, and honestly this is not deserved. Now let's move on to his response about this entire thing. My response, and maybe my last post. This message isn't specifically directed at the Reddit community. This is just the community that I care about the most and where I choose to post these things. I never cared much for Twitter anyway. To say that the last few days have been surreal would be an understatement. I've debated greatly how best to address this, including not addressing it at all, which in my opinion is probably the safest route since people on Twitter have half a brain cell. But with so many people from the LGBT community and the fan base that I love, that's not an option. I'd like to think that the last 7 years would have given me the benefit of the doubt in regards to how I treat people, but there I was, trending on Twitter for being a homophobe, getting doxxed with people threatening to come to my house. My wife is 6 weeks pregnant, congrats to that by the way, Scott, and she has spent the last night in fear of what was being said online. She has already been struggling with her pregnancy, so seeing her so afraid really scared me. Alright, getting scared while pregnant is definitely a reason to be worried. I hope everything somewhat calmed down, Scott. All this because I exercised my right and my duty as an American citizen to vote and support the candidates who I felt could best run the country for everyone. And that's something that I won't apologize for. Good on you, Scott, not letting anyone have their way. It's your choice and your choice only. For those who took the time to look, you saw the candidates I supported included men, women, white people, black people, Republicans and Democrats. I supported Kimberly Klatchik, excuse me if I butchered that, in Baltimore because I believed that she really cared for the African American community there and wanted to pull them out of poverty. I believed she could have really made a difference in a time when so many black communities were struggling. She lost, unfortunately. I supported Tulsi Gabbard, again sorry if I butchered that, a Democrat, even though I disagreed with her on several issues because I felt she could be a good and fair president. And yes, I supported President Trump because I felt he was the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many. Even if there were candidates who had better things to say to the LGBT community directly, thing is today, if the LGBT doesn't get what it wants, that makes the person who doesn't give it a homophobe. Not everything is about the LGBT. There are more people out there. This is just a very loud minority. Not that I hate the LGBT or anything, but like, this has happened a lot and it's just disappointing because that's not how it should work. And bigger promises to make. I believe their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. All of this explanation I fear is wasted, as people don't want to discuss with one another anymore. They want endless apologies and submission. People who are expecting those from me will get neither. Spoken like an actually true man, and I agree, that's what ends up happening when cancelling occurs. Everyone expects the creator to always apologize, and even if they do, these people still blame them and all of that BS, bro. It's just sad to see that humanity evolved into this devilish race, to be honest. I've always been supportive of creators and have tried to treat everyone fairly and treat everyone with dignity and respect. I've never cared about anyone's race, religion, gender, or orientation. That's a mentality everyone should have, because you should base people off of your interactions and not those minor details. I just treat people as people, everyone the same, and because of that I've ended up with a very diverse group of people that I've worked with over the years. It wasn't intentional, it just happened that way. I choose people who are best for the job. I treat everyone the same. And I ended up with people from all walks of life in my professional life and my personal life as well. That's the way it should be. That's the way I want it to be. That's the way I will continue to be. I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian. I'm pro-life. I believe in God. I also believe in equality and in science and in common sense. Despite what some may say, all of those things can go together. It's not an apology or promise to change, it's the way it's always been. If I get cancelled, then I get cancelled. I don't do this for money anymore, I do it because I enjoy it. If people think I'm doing more harm than good now, then maybe it's better that I get cancelled and retire. I would accept that. I've had a fulfilling career, laughing while MatPat tries to solve the lore while you know everything and the fanbase still to this day is wrong about some things. Besides, most things that people can take from you are things that never had much value to begin with. I have always loved and will continue to love this community and this fanbase, even if someday it doesn't include me anymore. We love you too, Scott. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and Scott, I wish you the best of luck. Percentages of you watching this are slim to none and I don't make much FNAF content, but hey, YouTube is YouTube and the internet is the internet. Who knows who might be watching my videos. Anyways guys, this was the cancellation of Scott Cawthon, which most probably won't happen because he handled that quite well, to be honest. This was Pseudonymist here, hoping people on Twitter will have more than half a brain cell. Signing off.